Hello everybody, it's Partyfoot back with another replay of Mechabellum. Here we are loading into yet another fantastic game. And this time we're going up against a Rhino Specialist. Our opponents opted for the Saber-Tooth Hound. I was feeling Tarantula, so I went Training Specialist on my end, picking up those crawlers. Hound and Saber-Tooth is a pretty good opening combo, I reckon. I kind of like the Arclights with them if I had to reach for one specifically. He goes for more DPS in the form of two marksmen, covering the anti-air situation for when it maybe chooses to come. We go for two sets of Void Eyes, which makes us quite happy that he didn't take any chaff, and also that he went for marksman. Because if we'd gone for marksman ourselves, of course, Void Eyes a little bit better at absorbing those single target hits and potentially trading favorably. We're starting in an aggressive stance on the side. I've done a lot of very passive positioning lately, feeling out the long range game. But I figured, actually, you know what? Sometimes you just got to press. And I made sure to have my crawlers out in front because I know that if I was in a headbutt with sabers and I immediately lost my tarantula, I might have a hard life. We leveled these Void Eyes, and they're immediately getting onto the Sabers, and taking out Hounds is pretty good for them too. We lose the left-hand side Tarantula. We're losing the tower on this side. Hounds take a while to take it down. We do get off a good effective volley here, but only bringing the tank down to half HP before it starts retaliating in a pretty serious manner. Luckily it's synced up with the marksman, and we take the tower down. This level 2 Void Eye actually tanking Saber and Marksman shots while the debuff's on. Make his last stand. Will he live? Will they get the experience? One shot? Couldn't do it. He's down. Alright. This side pressure is doing well for us so far, but we are vulnerable on our other flank. Haste module is pretty straightforward. I was considering the advanced missile because I thought maybe we could defend this side primarily with missiles. We do level up that tower, just so that we don't really have to commit anything over there to avoid, hopefully being okay against some flanking. Our opponent has the haste module down on one of their midline sabers. We chose to put it on the Void Eyes behind. Hopefully they should still be eating good. The choice out of our opponent is Arclights. Still no chaff units, so these level 2 Void Eyes hopefully are going to have a pretty good time of it. More chaff for us, including some slower chaff. And unfortunately it looks like we will lose the Tarantula real quick, even before our Void Eyes quickly take down the tank, which is pretty unfortunate. But the one on this side lives, which is important. We do need something to clear... Well, actually, now that I say that, of course, they have no chaff. These Void Eyes are just chewing on good opponents the whole time. I really like it. And of course this level tower showing its value. This pack of Hounds that costs 100 and a deployment slot, achieving literally nothing, except to provide experience to my troops. Once they finally make their way over. We're going to take out the tower for a little bit of bonus XP, and come in to clean up the last guys over here. Our single Fang doing his part. Actually getting a pretty good round one for a pack of Fangs. We do see a Scorpion, some Phantom Rays, Phoenixes. I think probably Phoenixes are the way. That's what I'm going to pick up anyway. Our opponent still has no chaff. At this point, maybe we've over-invested into chaff, and maybe we should have had more Void Eyes to continue to be really successful against this. Our opponent picks up the double Phantom Ray. So, we're going to be relying on our Phoenixes and a little bit on our Fangs to try and shoot those down. Whereas our opponent does have Marksman to take down our Phoenix. So I'm starting to worry that this crawler pack situation here is not going to be quite cutting it, and these Tarantula who are needed to take down any chaff, and here it is. stay alive and healthy in front of our carry units. The Void Eyes are doing a good job. This one, these two, not... These two, the only impossible number. These three are not doing that well, actually, upon reflection. They did level. Oil coming down from the Phantom Rays. Oil is kind of scary. I don't know. It didn't feel like it was really hampering us here, though. So, you know, immediately as soon as I see it, I'm thinking to myself, do I need to go into Missile Interceptor? But maybe not. His fangs are crowding around our Void Eyes, absorbing lots of big hits, letting them take down the critical targets. Marksman is taking down our Phoenix, although one survives, not for long. 2 Fangs and a Void Eye versus a Saber and a Marksman. It's not looking super good. Or is it? The oil comes into play and is gone. These hounds, again, not making it through the tower. That's unfortunate for them. It's got to be frustrating to have that happen to you in your career. Another haste module? Yeah? Just go fast, I guess. Gotta go fast. Incendiary bomb is there. Probably quite strong against me, honestly. I think we'll see that I don't shield, so... Probably not what I'm going to go for. I believe our opponent goes for the mobilized battleship, however. Continue to level these Void Eyes. They've both got haste now, and we pick up the suppression shots. Only 150, so pretty cheap even here in round 4 for a tech. What's not so cheap is probably the range enhancement on the Tarantulas, but what we wanted was that they just stood back a little bit further, and we got a bit more chaff in front of them, so they survive. They do have a job to take down these units, and maybe even help remove some of these hounds. They don't go down that fast to hounds either. Tier 3 on the flank turret, alongside this missile, protecting any melee infantry that come in, but not, hopefully, intercepting these hounds and staying up for a longer duration, which hopefully will limit his options and discourage a flank. We are probably quite vulnerable to spells here, but yeah, see here, our opponent drops the Overlord in the back. Big oil slicks come down, slowing down our chaff. Not too big of a deal, it seems. Our chaff only barely getting out in front here. This Rhino tanking and striding forward. It's slowed by his own oil, though. Now quite a big commitment over to our tower. It's level 3, though. It's surviving while we take out the rest of his forces. There it goes. But level 3 also means that the debuff timer is reduced, so it's already over and we take the tower in return. This lethargic oil is definitely annoying, but so far it doesn't actually look like it's really a detriment to me. He takes down the final Phoenix, though. So this summoned Overlord will take out all the units on the ground ever so slowly as they crawl through the oil. But since it's a temporary unit, no value and experience for him, so all he's doing is preventing damage that he would have taken and doing some damage back in return, which is not invaluable. It would have been a decent amount of extra damage. Oh, well, I did speak too soon. The Fangs are making an effort. Waddling in. Oh, that was an unfortunate shot there at the end. Efficient light manufacturing, subsidized marksman, elite crawler. Efficient light manufacturing feels good. We're going for Void Eyes. We get Void Eye range. We noticed that the Void Eyes were getting in front of the Tarantula last round. Which might not be too bad against Saber, but they're high level. They're really carrying. They still get one shot, so they should be in the back if possible. Our opponent goes for Mustangs with high explosive. We try a flank. It's not going to go so well into high explosive Mustangs that are appearing. But I'm not sure what the high explosive Mustangs are intended to defeat. Maybe he just wants to chew through my chaff more quickly and, you know, provide some chaff of his own in the form of those Mustangs, maybe. I did recently find out that there's an interesting interaction with Mustang where they will stay behind a line of Void Eyes. If you make a full line of Void Eyes, the Mustangs can't push through it. So Interestingly, if you give Mustangs Missile Interceptor and put them behind a continuous wall of Void Eye, it actually makes the Void Eyes kind of durable to chaff, and you know, occasionally one of the Mustangs slips loose, and then a bit of chaff filters forward, and you know, absorbs a bunch of hits. It's pretty nice. Potentially, I don't know. Potentially not very intended. I guess it is intended, but maybe a niche of that intention. Now our chaff is getting out in front a bit better. Is our Tarantula on this side going to survive? A little bit of chaff gets in front, yes, and the bulk of the boys are moving in. That's great. Big force on this side trying to take down our tower. It's leveled though. Tarantula fighting to the last, does get taken down. There are quite a few Mustangs, but they're all gone now. And it looks like this time, actually, this Tarantula making it to the end of the fight, which is pretty impressive considering how forward to the front they are. And naturally, once again, the lethargic crawl through the oil. You know, the possibility exists here for him to win. We do, you know, have a particular... And there goes the tower. And he can no longer finish my tower, and the Phoenix can leisurely take them out without fearing that it might get retaliated against. Good. He's a barcode. Probably, I'd say, the faker of Mechabellum. Perhaps one of the best players out there, I suspect, at least. Farseer. Typhoon. Melting Point, not too bad. Against potentially some single target stuff like this. Rhino that has been kind of charging up the middle. Farseer was attempting though. I noticed that we were kind of behind on anti-air, and I thought maybe we could have a Farseer amongst it. Potentially a photon coating angle in the future as well, if required. I did look across and go, ooh, photon coating. Maybe I should get two of these guys and put that on. Wait, it doesn't block oil. It doesn't block fire. Doesn't block oil, and if he sets it on fire, it doesn't block the fire either. So, useless. We level our Tarantula instead. Keeping our Void Eyes up to date as well. We do grab another Farseer. Going to put it a bit delayed. We did notice that he had some Phantom Rays over this side too, but he appears to have sold. This poor unit of crawlers is probably not doing great, but they are distracting these guys for a little bit. Hard to know how valuable that is, if at all. It does mean all this chaff gets cleared out. And we are locking on to the targets behind. Are we clearing this guy? Looks like they're plenty of range anyway, so at this point we don't need to worry too much about waiting for them. Tarantula's getting bogged down now. The oil is starting to pay back for him. Void Eyes are taking down the bigger targets, but they're not that good against Mustangs. They do them much better than Marksmen would. So we are thinning them down, but it seems like a pretty even battle. Maybe it's turning in our favor. But a lot of the Void Eyes are weakened. There are Marksmen still on the field. Looks like he's going to be in deep trouble though. We do have the suppression shots to reduce range. This guy's getting bullied. He does get off a second shot valiantly, but not in time to make a difference. Round 7. Advanced defensive tactics. I decided to go for it. I think, I don't know, it's hard to know all the breakpoints. It'd be kind of cool if you almost had a display saying like, oh look, these things are going to change. Suddenly these hounds are going to be like 3-shotting these crawlers or something. You know, I don't know. Certainly it looks like they're surviving, but they were already probably surviving. Getting our basic tech probably would help too. Void Eyes, I think, deal quite well with extra health though. A lot of like, especially against Mustang probably. So, I'm not regretting it. These Void Eyes have 10k HP each. That's kind of crazy, isn't it? 10k each? I mean, that means these Arclights can lock on and just be pounding away and barely get anything done. This isn't a level 1 either. Level 1 ones, like this... These hounds are going to take like 2 days to get through these guys. So they're actually pretty tanky. We get shields on the fangs. Yeah, shielded fangs, definitely nice into the arc lights, absorbing shots from the phantom rays, absorbing shots from here. Even more marksmen here. They're taking still a bit of the distraction away. Well, missiles devastating the phantom rays. And they're absorbing that initial oil. I don't know if it's going to make much difference. Lots of Mustangs. But later fangs coming in too to distract, and the high explosive on the tarantulas. They're surviving the initial fight, crawling in super slowly, but devastating the enemy's chaff really, really quickly so that the Void Eyes can get to work as early as possible on nice targets. I really like Void Eyes, actually. Oh, that appears to be a visual glitch. We are picking a Vulcan for our opponent. And we went for some level 3 sledges. I felt like if anything, we're going to probably lose to this kind of wall of chaff, so maybe just more of these guys were a good option. More fangs as well. Now that we've invested in shields, distributing more fangs around the board seemed like a good idea. Our opponent actually grabs the incendiary bomb on that Vulcan too, along with a buddy to help him out. He's probably had double shot here for a while, but not that concerned at the moment with double shot. Not that many things here are gonna... I mean, I guess, actually, these Void Eyes actually do take 2 shots to take down each, even from a level 3 marksman, which is pretty wild. I did go for an armored level 2 Wraith here, alongside some chaff. This is so many Mustangs, and I thought, if I put a Wraith back here, maybe it'll fly in nice and late, tank up a bunch of Mustangs. Probably should have taken into account that there's a decent number of marksmen already out. This time the oil doesn't go back. I don't really understand how that could have been different. We're set on fire, lots of burning, losing a lot of our chaff. Winning on this flank now though, moving in to kind of threaten the side. But Farseer demonstrating that it's not really the strongest DPS unit, but and there it goes. Void Eyes, though, doing a decent job into the heavier units. And this Overlord doesn't really have anything to stop it. Can we take down this Farseer to end? It looks like we can. Scary. We don't really have good anti-air because we run this long-range ground Void Eye. There was another efficient manufacturing that's so tempting, but of course it's probably not going to pay for itself here, so figured we wouldn't go for it. But yeah, of course not running the aerial mode means that they can't be transformed to attack air. Maybe I should run it instead of shields? I bet, imagine that. Imagine these shields. 4 shots from a marksman to take down 1 Void Eye. That's crazy, isn't it? Two shots with double shot, of course, but... And now, of course, we see this huge thing. We think 2 can play at the fire game. We're going to get incendiary bomb missiles and oil the middle of his force. I don't think he's not really been putting up any shields, just like I haven't. Level of Void Eyes. He's put down photon coating. Of course, it doesn't affect oil, it doesn't affect fire. Maybe he thought it did. I've probably been, you know, under a similar misconception in the past. We do level the Wraith, thinking, well, it failed the first time, but maybe this time it'll be better. Huge oil. Watch this. Huge oil, and it's on fire. This is the massacre of the century. Just a tragedy occurring before our eyes. This, a couple of them surviving over here, but that was simply the entire race wiped out in an instant. Anyone who remains, I'll leave no survivors, because even memory of this in history is going to scar our people perhaps forever. And there we go. That's the end of the round. The match, so to speak. Thank you to our opponent once again for their excellent participation. Incendiary missiles from the Vulcans on both sides. So many Mustangs from our opponent. Too much oil, too much fire. Very scary. Void Eyes for the win, though. 107,000 damage on level 7 Void Eyes. These level 1 units, level 1 I say, you know, 100 cost units, doing a really, really good job. And actually, our Tarantula putting up a pretty good fight too. So we're relying on our starting units to get a good run out of the game. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. This has been Party Foot with another replay of Mechabellum. Appreciate your time, and maybe we'll see you again next time.